In our traditional setups, birds were left to fend for themselves, and housing was rarely provided, or rather was not considered a necessity. In our current times, housing has become an important factor to consider if you want to engage in profitable poultry farming. My name is Saida Nyambura Karanja, and I'm your course instructor for the day. I'm a trained animal health technician, and I also hold a degree in business management. I have over 10 years of experience working with farmers in different aspects of production systems and also in the pharmaceutical supply in the livestock sector. Welcome to our course on Simple Guide to Poultry Housing. Let us now dive into the course outline for this course. One, we are going to learn why it is important for you to build a poultry house. We are going to look at natural behaviors of birds. How do birds naturally behave? We are going to look at the characteristics of a good poultry house. We're going to look at site selection requirements. We're also going to look at flock housing. How do you house your birds in different ages especially? We're also going to look at simple designs that you can start up when you're going into poultry production. We're also going to look at the factors that determine the design of the house that you build for your flock. Finally, we're going to add in more advice and then wrap up the course after that. One of the major investments when it comes to poultry rearing is having a good poultry house or a chicken coop. The kind of housing to construct will largely be dependent on the scale of investment for you as a farmer. What are your objectives? Do you want to do this for home consumption, or do you want to do this for profit production? How big or how small do you want it to be? The housing allows you as a farmer to be able to carry out management practices more effectively and in turn lead to better production for you at the farm. Why then should you build a poultry house for your birds? One, safety. Birds are able to be secure from adverse weather, and especially like during the rainy season and when it's too hot. It also ensures that proper feeding takes place. When you have a poultry house or a chicken coop, you're able to know the amount of feed you're giving to your birds. Provide chicken with comfort, like they can roast or just relax and be able to be free with themselves. It provides a safe place for them to lay and brood as well. Housing offers protection from predators and thieves. And housing also offers a great way to supervise and keep records for your flock. Like you're able to know how many birds are laying, when was the last time I vaccinated, how many birds were vaccinated. Housing those birds enables you to be able to keep records and offer other management practices for the same. Let us now dive into the natural behaviors and habits of birds. We're going to start with feeding, or what we call foraging, and we'll include drinking water in the same category. You'll notice that chicken enjoy pecking around the dirt in search of feed, and this is their nature, and there's nothing much anyone can do to prevent this kind of behavior. It is realized that poultry will eat up to 20% of their feed from foraging. This would equate to significant savings to your poultry farm, and especially those of us who are starting on small scale and doing backyard farming. Remember that up to 70% of all poultry farm costs or overheads come from feeds. Therefore, to achieve this, you should allow your poultry to forage on pasture, and this will significantly save on your costs of commercial feeds. The other natural behavior we're going to look at is perching, and this involves providing an elevated ground for the birds to rest on, as you can see on the picture that we have provided. A good house design should allow for the installation of perches for your birds to rest on. Perches are important for the chicken so that they're able to perch at night and also during the day. It helps to reduce boredom, which could lead to vices like cannibalism. Perches can play a role in manure management as well. Perches will allow birds to stay off the floor, particularly during the night. Consequently, manure tends to accumulate under the perch area, and the rest of the bedding material in the house stays cleaner and manageable. The other natural behavior we're going to look at is nesting, and this is when laying hens are laying their eggs, or when a broody hen sits on her eggs. They do require a nesting spot, and we advocate for one to provide nesting boxes in the poultry house. Laying hens prefer to naturally or rather to lay eggs in a more secluded or discreet locations. Even when you let your birds roam freely in the compound, you'll notice that they'll either find a bush somewhere where they're going to be laying their eggs and you'll have to look for these eggs. They just don't lay their eggs in anywhere. So providing those nesting boxes is very important. It also allows you to have a point where you're able to go collect your eggs as a farmer instead of looking around the compound for the eggs as well. And like we've said, they serve also the purpose of for the broody hen to be able to sit on her eggs until they hatch into chicks. Being able to provide this offers comfort to the hens during the 2 season.